Dr. RJ Bruno. I wanted to talk a little bit about mental health and, what can be done, to avoid issues. I think the biggest issue in mental health is probably depression problems. It's fairly common. Now, there are some more serious issues like schizophrenia, psychosis. Most of the time, those are issues that are treated, by the psychiatrist, because they're more serious problems. They require medications, sometimes even hospitalization. To a certain extent, these issues are very genetic in origin. However, the most common problem that we get into it in family medicine is probably depression problems. And I can say that some of the issues that people have with depression may be of their own doing. It's a thing that sometimes people are not taking good care of themselves. And so the glass is half empty instead of the glass being half full. So in other words, everything looks dark. Instead of it, having a positive attitude on life, they have a negative attitude. There's this old saying that when you point your finger, three fingers point back. And that's kind of sometimes what happens with these mental health challenges, with anxiety, depression issues, is that when you're always criticizing the world, criticizing, other people, that same criticism kind of bounces back on you. In other words, if you're saying, the government sucks, well, don't forget, you're having to deal with the government every day. So when you say that the government sucks, what's going to happen to you, Or if, let's just say that you decide that everybody that at work is a horrible person. I happen to know somebody who felt that way. And then you got to understand then, but that's where you work. And if it's everybody that in your village is a horrible person, well, you still live in the village. So sometimes when you have this negative attitude or outlook on the world, it affects you also because you still have to live with people. So one of the things, you gotta try to be understanding about other people, about things that are happening. And try to understand that the things that go on in politics that you read about in the papers, these are things that are done to get people elected. And so you got to kind of be a little bit tolerant to some of these things because it sometimes comes across like it's a big battle. It's not really a battle, it's more of a competition. Like the Democrats and the Republicans are competing because they want to be elected. So sometimes there's a little bit of untruthfulness when people are talking in politics. They say the things that they know that are necessary to be said for the people, but not necessarily their own personal feelings. And so you have to kind of take what's said on politics and on the news with a grain of salt, because it's not totally 100% truthful and serious. The other thing that I think is very important with mental health issues is the whole point of taking care of yourself. If you're not getting enough sleep, how are you going to take care of the things that are going on in the world if you're half asleep? If you haven't been eating, how mentally awake, how good are you going to be able to react to situations if you're not feeding yourself properly, if you're not taking in proper fluids? If your diet is nothing but crap, you're going to feel like crap, basically. There's and a philosopher said, "You are what you eat," basically, even though that's actually not what he said, but whatever. But it kind of is the interpretation that if you eat junk, you're going to feel like junk. If you eat good food, you're going to feel good. So, that's part of it too. You got to take care of your body so that you can be mentally healthy. And then, like I said, it's a matter of how you view the world. A personal experience I can tell you was that when I was in my training for medicine, I had a course where I thought, everybody was horrible in that course. I thought everything was terrible. But around that time, I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. I wasn't exercising properly. Once I reversed the course and started exercising and getting more sleep, those people seemed to be nice people then. So I changed the world by changing myself. So, sometimes it's a matter of perception. Okay, take care.